Everyone, and welcome to the next interview on the Visibility Summit. Today we have Christine Campbell Rapin, and Christine is an energetic, tell it like it is, business advisor, mentor, consultant, and speaker with more than 25 years experience in marketing, sales, and operations, working with startups to the biggest companies on the planet. As the owner of Clear Acceleration Inc., she believes that business can be elegantly simple when you know what to focus on to create success. Christine is an international best-selling co-author, holds a Bachelor of Commerce and an MBA in International Business. Hi, Christine. Thanks for being
Hi. It's great to
here.
be here. The business
So
badass is here. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
I love it so much. It's so good. Can you tell us and the audience a little bit about, your story, how you got here? Because I'll tell you, it's pretty phenomenal what you do in the world.
Thank you. Truthfully, I got invited here, and that's truth. I never set out to be a business advisor or mentor. I've spent all my life in the world of business, and I kept getting invited for coffees or glasses of wine, pick your flavor, to pick my brain because people were like, how are you building, when I first started in 2018, a business 1 hour a day on top of having kids in sports, a corporate job where I traveled half the country. And I said, well, truthfully, I've created $1 billion for other people. Business is simpler than you're thinking it. And people are like, I need to buy another cup of coffee. And it was through that exchange or a glass of wine that it led to the conversation of, wow, a lot of people don't know how to create clients and to create revenue. And so I started to see this opportunity and I said, well, to me, this is straightforward, but it's because I've been doing it for 30 years. And I honestly want far more people succeeding because it is painful watching people give up on their dreams. And it's even more painful doing the hokey pokey dance. And I'm like, please, your next buyer needs you to show up. Let me help you get found, know what to say, and get to the yes of the big ripples that you're here for. And that's how it really came to play. I kept being invited and I said, oh, pay attention. Maybe I can help here.
Don't you love that? I love when things just like fall in and you're like, wait, I feel like this is a sign.
Always.
So the people that you work with right now, when they come to you and they're like, I'm so confused, like I don't know how do I drive more revenue? I feel like I'm doing everything right and the clients aren't coming and that's affecting my bottom line and now I'm panicked. What do I do? What is the first step, the simple first step that you tell everyone to do?
Well, the first thing I tell you to do is breathe and say probably where the spin comes from is you're very busy in the weeds, in the tactics. And let me just shortcut it. There's 25 tactics that are working, but if they're not working, they're not working for you because it's not the tactic that's the problem. It's you actually don't have a plan. And if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And so I say, take a breath. There's 4 questions we have to ask so that you get really clear who you are, what you stand for, where you want to play, why people should say yes to you, and how you're going to need to get there, the capabilities and the capacity you need. And everyone says, those are so simple. And I said, yeah, when's the last time you could really answer them? And they're like, oh, dot, 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 with an expletive, probably is what they say. And I said, okay, these are very simple questions, but it's really hard to know how to answer them. And if we can't answer them ourselves, it is a very unfair ask to expect your next buyer to figure it out on their own because they've got their own story that they've got going on. And so I often say, breathe. We've got to slow this down. We've got to start with clarity because most of my clients will come to me saying, I've had such a rocky road on the client growth engine that I have limited confidence or it doesn't sustain me because I have lots of peaks and valleys. I'm on a roller coaster. And I say confidence comes through action and it comes after clarity starts to be like an onion where we peel back these very simple questions and laser them into like a toddler. So what? What's the consequence to that? Is it true? What's going on here? But they go, oh, I'm so glad I'm holding your hand because I feel less scared now. I said, awesome. Well, let's build this. And confidence, my business is called Clear Acceleration. If you get clear, you will start to move. And if you feel like you're not moving now, it's probably because you're not clear on some really basic fundamental questions. And because they're so basic, you skated right by them. And it doesn't matter whether you're a solopreneur or a big corporate, because I get brought into both. And they say, I feel like I've lost momentum. And I said, if you feel like you've lost it, you have. And you don't land in momentum. You start moving. and moving leads to momentum. And so I say, pick your speed, but taking your foot off the gas is dangerous because that's exactly how you crater your business. And I'd rather you didn't. How about you?
Well, okay. So if you're listening right now, rewind and listen to what she just said. Because because you don't land in momentum, make a shirt. Like wear it everywhere because it's so true. And I don't think that very many entrepreneurs think about it like that, right? And what you do is so powerful. It's so powerful to be able to take these people and be like, hold on, let's simplify it. So then do you think that these questions, these simple questions that help realign you, get the momentum going, you've seen businesses that were successful like drop off, right? And lose that momentum. What would you say is that reason that they stop? Like they lose their focus on those questions, on their visions, on all of those things.
Truthfully, it's because they fall into this. Two things happen. Number one, they find themselves in the place of enlightenment. And so they look when things start to go south to their peer group, to the competitors, and they all start to sound the same. And that's disastrous because you have no idea. You think they're working and they're trying to think and watch you think you know what you're working, and you guys are running yourselves into a three-legged race that goes around in circles. That's the first thing that happens. Second thing that happens is, truthfully, they forget that the current client is not the same as your next client. How you communicate with them, where you meet them, the speed, pace, conversation is different. And they're saying, but these people all love me. I said, yes, because they're in the space of enlightenment with you. But your next client's in the dark, not the same space. And the moment I say that, they're like, damn. I'm like, you're welcome. And so I always think of like people are on a continuum, and the biggest challenge when you're in your own business is that you start to slide up this continuum. And sometimes, yes, you absolutely will take your clients with you. You create more value. You get longer term clients. You have this beautiful lifetime value. But if you're looking for new, you've got to really have somebody like me specifically in your corner helping pull you back to where are they starting? And you as the business owner have to get back to that fundamental, really simple question. What do they want? Not what do they need? Not how do they need it? Not why do they need it? None of that matters when you're lost in the dark. And so I always tell people, be really aware that your current client and your competitor set are the wrong barometer for getting out of the panic of, I don't know where my next client's coming from. You're in the wrong location. And that's why I say people often you get caught in the wrong rooms. And if you're not in the right rooms to find your next client, you have a very big problem.
Okay, so this was super powerful, and I love that we're talking about this. And I have kind of a bigger question
Sure.
because I know that there's so many changes in the market right now for a lot of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But when the market changes so fast, right? When your ideal client, all of a sudden their needs change so fast, right? And you're like, okay, what worked yesterday is definitely not working today. What would be some of your suggestions to start to hone in on what those changes would be and how to serve that next client in the best way?
Yeah. The first thing, I'm saying it again, but I want you to slow down, which is going to feel like the opposite answer to what you would naturally want to do. And what I mean by that is when you're in a place where you're trying to serve more and you think the asks are getting more, it's really that the volume of asks are getting more, but not the total requirement is getting more. And the problem is people keep stuffing their offers with more and more and more, thinking that's the right answer. But I also strongly opinion here, it's not the right way to go to get yes. And that's our goal line is yes. So you're trying to sell a unicorn by adding a lot answers of the what, thinking volume is going to make you stand out. And you're watching your competitor set do the same. But I actually tell you who is winning now is going much slower. Because when someone is in a tough economic climate, they're looking for solutions. It's not that I don't want a unicorn, but I'm not Googling for the unicorn. I'm Googling for a small specific thing. And I don't, because I've probably tried to solve this before, feel a little burned out. I'm frustrated with myself. I may have also spent money or downloaded free resources. I've tried to solve this. But I said, buyers are different and you need to slow down, stop selling a unicorn and think about the what of your next buyer. And specifically, I say, remember, your next buyer has to have three attributes. They have to be problem aware, which means they know what they're looking for. You might not agree with it, but if you fundamentally disagree with it, you're going to walk right by each other. But you have to know what. They have to be problem aware. Your job is not to educate or convince them. That's not a buyer. Okay, just so we're clear. Number two is you have to be able to move them. And that's the movement piece. Like your job is to have the strategy. How do you move them predictably from curious to paid client? The better you are at being able to move somebody, more successful, stable your business is. Hopefully, the more faster you can do it, the more profitably you do it, everything looks rosy in your business. But the third thing you got to remember is value sells in every economy. And value, when we're struggling, we start to feel it's a personal thing. And so we start to add more. But value in our own eyes is useless, doesn't help people get to yes. So you've got to be able to shift the lens to what does your buyer, your next buyer, client, customer, choose your word, what do they value? And so in my case, what I often tell people is you've got to go back to who are you looking for, the needle in the haystack, and really work with a mentor. Particularly, I think it should be me, but to help you see the other lens, because it's the thing that will help it move. And you guys collectively move together. And when that happens, you start to feel like your business is oxygen. You feel lit up by it. You start to sizzle. You start to create momentum. You start to feel, where was all of this 6 months ago? And I said, remember, clients typically take 90 days or more to move from first contact through. We have to have an engine. And this is formulaic in every economy because customers right now are still shopping, but they want the result. So what result do they want? What do they value? And why are you the person to guide them? Are the simple shortcut to actually not being the statistic, which is roadkill on a business that imploded. It's very simple. It's not easy, but it is simple. And it is a choice to be in the overwhelm. I believe in very low tech. I believe in conversation. I'm such old school values because I know that old school values are what are really sought after right now. And it is the easiest thing not to be duplicated.
Yes, yes. And I got to tell you, I absolutely agree with your hot take there. I absolutely don't think that stuffing your offer or anything with more and more and more stuff and trying to create that unicorn is selling it all right now. Yes. It's so refreshing to talk to you and like I like have these values like come out. I'm like, yes, I agree with so much that you're saying right now.
Well, and remember your buyer, like the hardest conversations, like, because we're so focused on the how.
Right.
Like if you're somebody who speaks is a key tactic, you're always about my methodology, the how. And I said, that's great. But remember, that's after they figured out the what. You got to meet them at the what first. And it's smaller than you think. And I always give the example of financial advisors. So poor guys, sorry if you're in the room. I always say, you're trying to sell me financial $1 million to retire. And it's not that I don't want that. But truthfully, I'm still wondering why my kids got off the bus today and only have one shoe. So I'm like, now I have to find $300 to find shoes for my kids for the weekend. Where's your jacket? Like constant conversations like that. But it's like that my immediate need is so small. Don't undervalue the smallness. And really, what I believe was really working right now is high ticket because people are like, I've tried all the really easy shortcuts and I'm still not there. So it takes a harder person to want to play there because you have to be really certain on your value and you have to be able to communicate it. But boy, is it fun. And this is solvable. Like the best thing I can tell you about this economy is it is moving. People are spending. And this is a solvable problem. So like how awesome is it? My invitation, solve it. And if you need help, come connect.
Oh my gosh, this is the best. Okay, so this is a great bridge into your gift. So can you tell everyone a little bit about the gift that you have for them?
I can, sure can. So I want to help you actually figure out who is my next buyer, because I think that is fundamentally where you start. And even when you're in momentum, you're going to go back and revisit this. So I have a bundle. It includes two things, really dialed around the three foundations every business on the planet needs. The first is going to be a resource because you're going to ask, well, where do I go find them? So there's 25 ways. There are tactics that are working right now to go find your next client. It's also going to be a resource to help remind you what a buyer is so that you know what to look for. So that's the first piece. It's an ebook, 11 pages. I'm going to say right now, shortcut. Don't do 25 things. I want you to find the one that you go, I can get behind that and play your game. Okay. Because you get to choose how you do business, but I want you to find one. If you've been in a business for a while, maybe two, but this is not an invitation to overwhelm. Don't do 25. The second piece of the bundle is actually an experience with me because what I say isn't new and it's not rocket science, but you're going to need to be reminded, experience it, and find your gaps so that you can overcome them. And so every month I run an event that is about igniting your client growth engine without big tech and big budgets, because I believe that those are needed after you already have success and know the simple answers to the questions. So you've got to grab that. It's a free gift. Please do it. It's about your bundle to success, consistent clients, and taking all the stress off the table.
Okay, so if anyone was looking for permission to not spend money on tech right now, starting a business, like here it is.
Right now.
This is your permission to not spend money on tech out of the gate. So grab this gift, because I can't tell you how many people I talk to are like, I spent money on this, and I'm like, why?
Stop throwing. That's why I would say stop throwing lipstick or putting lipstick on the pig. Truthfully, it's not helping. I mean, she's pretty, and I love the red lipstick. Honestly, all over that. But I will tell you that it's not, if you don't have the fundamentals right, your messaging doesn't matter.
Yes.
If you throw a lot of money at it, please let me tell you, somebody else has got bigger pockets than you. It's a recipe to bankruptcy. I want you to accelerate and add oxygen once you have good foundations working. And this is always in season. It's not the sexy piece of business, but the results are really sexy.
Oh, it's so good. That's great. All right. So what is the gift for people who upgrade to VIP?
So VIPs, you are going to love this because it's my brain in your business. It is about finding your buyers to create more money. And it's going to be a conversation with me so we can figure out where's your gap, when's the next step, and for the first time, have some time to slow down and say, this is what I think I do. And I'll say, sounds good. Is it true? Or call you politely on the gap. And you need that honest feedback because it could be the thing that unhooks all of it. And so often you have people that say yes to you and clear to you. And I said, I'm actually advocating for you. I'm your best buddy sitting on the passenger side that says, how can I help you move your business? More clients, more money, more impact, my brain in your business.
Ooh, I love this so much. So if you have not upgraded to VIP, do that now. This call alone is absolutely worth getting. I like to say all the time, your bathroom mirror can't actually give you feedback. Like if you're running a business and like you're not actually asking people about it, you're not doing too hot. So this is a chance to sit down with Christine and really, really find those gaps in your business. So grab it as a VIP. Christine, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you love to share with our audience?
I will just tell you this, and this is just a reminder because I will loan you my certainty. I will tell you your next client is out there right now. They are actively looking for you. So if you're wobbling, I tell my clients this question the most, and I want to ask it to you here in this event. This is about visibility. Visibility matters, but being in the right room is key. And you can either be in control of the wobble by getting the freebies and getting the resources and getting into the VIP, or you can let the wobble control you. Which path would you choose? I want to control the wobble like a badass.
Same. This has been such an amazing conversation. Oh, I love everything you do. I love everything you stand for. Thank you so much for doing this interview with us today and really spending your time, especially in the middle of doing all of the things that you do. We really, really we're honored. So thank you for doing this interview.
My absolute pleasure. Guys, go do it. Go light it up.
Yes, I love it so much. All right, and everyone watching, thank you so much for spending your time watching the Visibility Summit, and stay tuned for the next amazing interview.